Hello, am I audible? Yeah. So let me start. Okay. So we will start. So briefly, we will discuss about previous sessions, and then we'll get back to the actual coding skills, where we will be discussing about the with simple programs. We will try to understand how to write a simple code. With some examples, we will able to appreciate how the C programming is made our life so easy. And uh, because of that, today you can see that a lot of programming languages in the market, and the basic foundation. When you look at this, you can understand this. So we started with what is programming, what is coding. If you want to solve any real-time problems, okay, we used to use real-time problems. Most of the time, when we solving any real-time problems or any applications, we required coding. Now we understood its importance in the first session, and also we understood that okay, when we are writing, what are the levels of programming is available broadly. Also, we have understood what are the programming. In this, we understood, okay, low level, machine level, low level, and high level programming language, like nothing but machine, low level, and higher level programming languages. Then we discussed about programming paradigm. That is nothing but structured, object oriented, okay, object based. Okay, then we also discussed functional, okay, logic, all the different types of categories we have discussed in the programming paradigm. Once this is understood, we are started exploring as an example in C program. So we started exploring here and try to understand how Dennis Ritchie is the father of our C programming, and how he come up with from BCPL to C program. Today is the de facto standard for any programmer to learn and start their career by understanding through the C program. So that is what we have discussed. Okay. And we started discussing about that's journey and all those things. And today we will try to explore further. When you say to C programming, we wanted to discuss what it is actually. Okay. What is the skeleton of this? And let us see, also in the last session, we discussed that how to install, how to what we call it as a compile, how to use the Turbo C. All these things we have discussed. And today we will try to understand the programming world and explore that, okay, how C working actually. Now, when you talk about C programming, more or less, okay, so these are the fundamental step we are talking about. It is the smallest unit of programming language constructs. It is the smallest unit of programming language constructs. It may be there are different types of the words we have. That is nothing but when you talk about this, the main heart of C programming is called as a tokens. So what is token? It is the smallest unit of any program. Okay. So when we are writing the program, for example, if you want to, if you look at the Indian context, okay, if the rent is most assume that it is 30K or 30,000, okay, and if you want to give an advance, okay, the owner always expect minimum. It is not 150 to 200. At least he expects minimum 10,000 token. So that is how the tokens has been defined. It is the smallest unit of any program. Okay, if you write any program, the smallest unit in a program, we call it as a token. There are different types of tokens we have actually. Well, it may be like what we call it as a keywords. What is keywords? That is we are going to discuss about that. Identifiers. This is also one type of token, we call it as variables. Also, we have like a data type. Okay, 5. So like this, if you look at that, okay, the separators are punctuators, operators we have, and the separators are punctuators. Punctuators. Even you can say that there is a literals are there, or constants. All these are different part of keywords. So why this is required? When you are learning any programming language, okay, or any communication language, some alphabet should be there, right? Here also, we are talking, when we are talking about in Indian language, when we talk about Hindi, or if when you are talking about communicating through English, always there will be a like a alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, something like that. Okay. After that, we have a grammar and how to communicate in various situations. Similar to that, here also we have the similar kind of like a what we call it as like expectations is there. But here communication is between a computer hardware and a through your editor, whatever the task you are going to type, and it has to communicate properly to your machine. That is nothing but your hardware. And the language we are using at very high level is now we are talking about C program. That is this one. But when you are communicating, the structure of alphabet and communication grammar, okay. So all these things are important, right? So for that, in that term, this plays a vital role for us. So if we are able to understand what is keyword, what is identifier, what is variable, what is data type, what is operator or punctuator and literals, I think you can straight away start with a simple programming. Today we will be having a discussion on those things. Anyhow, in the next 10 to 12 sessions, we will reach till the foundation of C programming. It is not so difficult to learn. Any beginners, yes, this target audience is non-IT people who means who never worked in program, but they feel that, okay, program is much more tougher world. And sometimes some computer science students also, whether they are doing a BCA, a BSc computer science, MCA and MTech, they also feel sometimes coding is very tough job. But it is actually speaking, in my 22 years of career, it is a very easy job. Only thing is, you have to have a strong foundation, and the age doesn't count here. Age doesn't matter here. Just your focus matters a lot. Just you have to trust yourself that I can learn. If you are able to do that, then definitely you can learn any programming language. Now, when we talk about keywords, okay, so when let us understand this. So what is keyword? Keyword is nothing but, okay, whose meaning is already explained to a compiler. Compiler means what? For example, when you write a program in C, means maybe I can say that what is the task you have writing? Maybe I am writing a calculator software. Just I am imagining, okay? So I wanted to do the calculator software. So when you write this, okay, if you want to write, the tool you are using or a program you are using is C program. But when you are using this, when you are writing a C program, you will be typing window. Last session I have explained typing window. Maybe you are using the Turbo C or any editor. Okay. Once you used this, then you are doing the like a compilation. Then it will convert a object code or machine code. Then it will be executed. That means software is executed. Now, when you writing this, as I said, first word, this compiler, whatever the compilation process we are talking about, it should understand the syntax, what we call it as a semantic of your language. For that, some basic constructs or words or tokens are required, and that is called keywords. Keywords is nothing but the reserved words, we call it as reserved words, whose meaning is already explained to a compiler. Here, which compiler? C compiler. What is the job of compiler? It is a translator. What it is doing? It is very simple. Whatever you have written the program in C, okay, it is translating. Compiler is translating, okay, translating to the to the okay hardware resources, which can understand what is the translation. It is going to explain, convert into a machine level language, nearly 0 to 1, that can be interpreted by the hardware resources. So that's all it is doing, compilation. So it means that to do that, we need some reserved words. That means whose meaning is already explained to a compiler. Compiler can understand those words, which is a C compiler. And using that, we can do all these things tasks. So that's why if you look at this, when you look at the tokens, the first important task we have to understand is the C keywords, which is already reserved words. There are 32 reserved words in this actually. For example, categories of words I have listed here. When you look at the data type, so what it is, slowly you will be able to understand. Don't worry too much about this. It is a very simple terms and this one. Here we have int, float, double, char, void, long, short, signed, unsigned. So these are all called as a data type. For example, if I want to articulate, let me take one. If I want to buy a house, there is a house is here to stay in the as a family in the house actually, right? So in that, single bedroom house will be there, double bedroom house will be there, triple bedroom house will be there, penta house will be there, right? So similar to that, we have a memory location that is in the primary memory, whether we can store the information of integer type, that is 2 byte or 4 byte or something like that, 1 byte. Like this, if I want to express, this is called data types. Please understand, data types are expressing that how much size of the memory is required for you to store a value similar to the family stores in single bedroom house, double bedroom house, or triple bedroom house. In the same analogy, you can apply here as a data type. Similarly, if you go to the control flow, if you look at that, okay, there are various control mechanisms are there to control the way of working. That is nothing but if else, which all these things we are going to learn in the next session. And loops, this is also we are going to discuss in the next session, tomorrow session. And storage classes, slowly we are going to learn this as well, where categories of data type information to store, that we are going to discuss. Type quantifier also there. Okay, don't worry too much. I am just listing all these okay keywords. How many keywords are there? 32 keywords are there. One sees at least if you are 80% of these words could able to recognize, you are considered as you know the C programming. After some more enhancement, okay, initially it was like this 32. Then they have introduced some more, and that's why 32, then it becomes 37. And C11, something they have added, that is 44 keywords were there. But ideally, we say that, okay, 32 keywords in traditional C programming language. What are those? These are the keywords. How do we use? How do we make use of it? That I will come back to you. Then what is identifier? So when you write a program, okay, when you write a program, and I need to give to the name of the file. I need to tell that, okay, if I want performing some addition of two numbers, first number and second number, that name I have to give. Okay. And if I want to write a some function, you will be able to understand that what is function later part. So that means whatever you people are giving identity within the program are called as a identifiers. That means as a developer, as a coder, you are going to give the identity for within the program. That is called identifiers. These are the sum of the valid identifiers. There is a certain rules. So like always identifiers will start with alphabet only, maximum underscore, something like that. Then numbers, it should not start with numbers. These are invalid identifiers where it started with what? This one. Hyphen cannot be used. Any special character other than underscore, you cannot use it. So like this, we have a certain rules and regulation when you are naming the file name, when you are naming the variable name, when you are naming the function name, and all those things you can able to understand. Please remember, once you jump to the 5th or 6th chapter, then you usually will be able to understand previous the sessions. At this moment, just focus that there is a term called identifiers, and this identifier help us to give a developer as per their convenient name to make it understand the system to use those things to construct a or solve the problem statement. So that is what we are doing. So finally, you say that it is a developers has to give the name for the identifiers. So next, quickly, if you want to understand, as I said, okay, in C programming, okay, if I want to store the value, for example, what is store the value? I'm talking about if I want to store A is equal to 10 here, or I may want to store 200 to 20.4, something like that, this value. And like this, if I wanted to do that, okay, some is integer, some is a float, or I may store like this. Okay, see, this may be a by one character. Okay, if you want to store all these things, okay, we need a different memory size to store this. It may be a single byte. It may be of the different categories of that. So we have to understand the different types of data types are required. Okay. So here the different types of data types will be there. So that means so at this moment, just understand that the data types are nothing but, okay, it is a size of memory to hold a value to express that, okay, that is a char, it is a single byte, that is 8 bits, we call it as a, and the 8-bit character will be stored. Int, that is a 2 bytes, that is a 8 into 8, 16 bytes. Bits, we can say that. Long int, 4 byte. Float, 4 byte. Double, 8 byte. That means wide, 0 byte. So it doesn't take much data here actually. It means these are the different types of data types we are going to use to store the data in the main memory. So that is nothing but RAM. And when you are coding, you will be able to use these things. Slowly you will be able to understand. If you want to hold the character, so alphabet characters, then character we will be using. When you want to use the numeric values, then we can use this. When you want to decimal numbers, we can use the float and the double. Okay. Like this, we will be using all these things. I'm not getting into very deep, like what is primitive, non-primitive, all these things. Just I'm making short saying that, okay, if I want to store certain value, we are using the data type. There is another term, we call it as a variables. In mathematics, if you have an idea, so variable is nothing but it holds the value, but it keeps changing. That's why this is called variables, right? Directly relate to a mathematics, what is constant and what is variable. Constant values always fixed. Pi 3.14 remains same. That kind of values we call it as a constants. Whereas values keep changing, we call it as a variable. So here int age is equal to 25, float height is equal to 5.9, char is equal to a. So that means number one is equal to 100. My variable is equal to 50. Tomorrow I can change this to a my variable to 100. That means always it can keep changing. this concept we call it as a variables. So variables is a memory location to hold a value. At this moment, remember there is a term called variable. When I start showing you program, you can able to understand what are those, and I will explain, okay, what are identifiers, what are data types. By when you run the program practically, you will be able to appreciate it. Usually, the main purpose of our computer operation is to perform certain tasks. Probably, I want to develop a scientific calculator, or I wanted to develop a simple calculator. If I want to do such kind of calculations, okay, then we require a special symbols. We call it as a operators. Okay, operators are required here. Plus, minus, star, slash. These are called arithmetic operators, assignment operators. Okay, like a bitwise operators, bitwise shift operator, Boolean logic, conditional operator, equality testing, increment and decrement operator, member selection operator, size of operator. These are all the different types of operators. At this moment, I don't want you people to be confused too much. Rather than assume that whatever you are going to do in arithmetic and logical operations, comparison and all those things, the same thing we can apply here. How to use that we'll discuss. When we write with certain use cases, definitely you can able to understand. So A plus B. A is a operand. A and B is a plus is an operator. A and B is a operand. They call it is right. So like that. And after that, we have a one more concept, just like call it as a separators. So what it is does is nothing but it is separating the tokens actually. So tokens it is separating. We may use this also token, comma is also token, semicolon is also token, colon is also taken. All are tokens. These tokens we call it as a separators or punctuators. Its main job is to separate the two tokens. So that is what we have to understand as of now. So after understanding all these things, my objective is to understand is how to by using writing a simple programs. I would like to appreciate all these things. Okay, I should want to understand all these things. So let us write simple programs. By the at least end of fifth or sixth session, you can able to understand what it is. At this moment, you may be having as a fresher who are a non-IT members or a beginners to the programming. Definitely, you may be having the certain confusions, but please cooperate within with 2-3 sessions. You will be able to understand. As I know that okay, in the previous session, we have already shared. Okay, okay. So we wanted to start this. Okay, Turbo C, how to use it. I have shown this you people. Let me new. Okay. So let me start working towards it. Now let me write simple example, just try to recollect. If I wanted to write, so as I told you earlier, so there will be a, for example, I wanted to tell, okay, I wanted to tell hash include, this is the standard methods, libraries I wanted to include. If I want to do programming in C, so usually we will use this. This is the standard line for printf and scanf. And this is nothing but conio.h for clear screen, because just to clear the screen we were doing. Then void main, this is the indicating for the beginning of the program. And then I'm closing here. This is the simple skeleton or structure of any program. So as I said, okay, if I want to perform, what I can take is, so the last time I have shown that sum of two numbers, I think, right? Sum of two numbers. I can take any of such these things. Let me take just, okay. So, all of you are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to write the program, there is a blue screen. I think it is visible for you. let me write a simple program like, okay, find a square of a given number, because I assuming that, so everyone knows operators, whatever the previous discussion I have made, based on that I wanted to write at least 4 or 5 programs so that you can understand and appreciate what is this token actually. Now if I wanted to do this, let me hash include, okay, studio dot h hash include studio dot h. So void main. Okay, so I am writing this. Now, if I want to write a square of a given number. So now, what is the square of number mathematically? If I'm talking about a square of a given number, if someone inputs 2, it should give 4, something like this, right? So if I wanted to do that, let me read the number. So I need a logic to read the number. So I need a number. So there is a, I said already, int, float, double. So if I want to, when I are inputting a non-decimal point, I can say int. Okay, if it is a decimal point, if we wanted to do that, I can use the float value. Both is okay. So if I take integer, so it is a non-decimal number. That means 2 bytes of memory will be reserved. Then input number is equal to number I can take, and square I can take. So just I am declaring like this. Please understand, usually name should be given. If someone reads it, writing only once, but usually the reader should be able to understand by looking at the program without having much documentation like this. Now, this is called documentation. This is called as a documentation. Now, I have written this. Now, print f. Okay, now I have to enter the number. I am doing this. Okay, so then I am scanf. So I am reading this. Okay, then after that, I am reading the value. So printf is for my message, for prompting a message for me, and scanf is for system to read the value and hold the value in the variable. This is actually, now this is the data type. This is the variable. Data type will tell you whether it is a single bedroom, double bedroom, similar to that. It is telling you the data type, and whereas these are the number and square is a, it is a 2 different variables here. And printf and scanf is, this is because of this library has this the definition. That's why we have included. Printf is prompting the message on the console or a screen. Scanf is responsible to read the value of that actually. So we are able to read the value. So it is not %f. So if it is an integer type, I have to change to a digit, the D. That is what you have to do. That %d or I for integer. So you can do the both things actually. So let me write the semicolon for this. Then let me write a simple square is equal to number star number. Okay, write this printf. Okay, let me write the square of a given input number. So if I wanted to do that square of input number, I don't want to much complicated formatting output. That's why I'm printing like this. So I wanted to give this one. What is the output? %d. If it is integer squared, 2 cross 2, 4. So I have to get that square. So I have done this. Then for conio.hy, I have to clear the screen. Previous message in the buffer of our monitor should be cleared so that I should not have any these things. So now I wanted to save this. Okay, sample one dot. Assume that let me write square only. Square dot C. So extension for this is C. Now control F9. So enter the number. I will write 2. It is giving. So just what I did. %d. I have to give the data type. Okay, so now once again, 2. So I'm getting the 4 value. So this is how we are doing that. So enter the number is 2. I am able to show the this one. I want to clear the screen. So for that reason, I have to use, because previous messages I don't want to see. It will make you confused. So that's why I'm adding the confused. This 3, and it is giving the square of a number is a 9. So this is how we can write a simple program for better understanding of this actually. So enter the number, the square of the input number. So that means enter the number is there, %d, and this one. So let us understand, go back and see that. And this is a comment. We call it as a comment. What we call it as comment. Why this comment is required? Comment is required for the reader purpose perspective. This is a reader perspective we are included. And why this is this one? Since there is a compiler they have written, and there should be some inbuilt functions that to be used. So for that is written in studio.h. That is nothing but printf and scanf. For that input output related, we have a standard library function. How I have writing a function, already compiler people already written the program. So that is what studio.h. Whereas conio.h is nothing but I have used some functions called, this is called functions. Okay, clear screen. You do not require to worry. Someone has written that is nothing but our compiler. Turbo C people have written that. That is that indicating. That means these are two things. We call it as a Yash is nothing but to define the studio.h and canio.h. Similarly, if I want to void main, this is indicating that beginning of the program. Beginning of the program. So I'm going very slowly so that you should not get because I'm thinking that, okay, most of the people are from the non-IT background. Now here, when you go here, number and square and this one. So int float to double is nothing but those are all called data type. The convention data type. Data type will indicate what is the size of the memory is required to store the value, a number and square. So that is nothing but number. It is an integer type. It may allocate 2 bytes of memory. That is 16-bit in the main memory. So it has num as well as a square. That is a data type. After that, this num and square is comma separated value. We call it as a variable. So this is how we have to declare first before using this. For example, if you write number 1 and here you are using num. So if you run this, okay, so it is showing 1 error. So it is not the standard to write it, it is telling. This is not the way to write it. It is telling that, boss, you have made a wrong statement. Number 1 is, if you click that, number you are using here, but nowhere it is declared, undefined symbol it is telling. So what is our job? So we have to make sure that whatever we have written, if it is num1 is there, it should be num1 only. So what is the purpose? Just as initial developers, we do the plenty of this type of mistakes, but what is our objective? Okay, we have to do this. Like number 1, here also it is telling this one. So for your convenience, I am showing you. So now if you see that, it is able to show this actually. So this is how we can able to understand. So this, if you say that this is a variable, number 1 is a variable, which can hold any value. First I put 2, next 4, it can be any number. So that's why this is a variables. And when you come here, if you want to read to the program, we have to use a special symbol called ampersand. Why this D? D is representing the number 1 is of type integer. For float, it will be, if it is a float, okay. So just remember at this moment, int and float, double, that's it. Okay, don't worry other things about, because as a beginner, don't think too much, okay. I make it as a float. Now if I do this, Control F9, 3, sorry, this time I will take another number. So it is this one. So given input number is 5. I know the reason for this. I will come back to that. Okay. Don't worry. The scan of Y number F is not reading. I don't want to complicate much. Okay. And at this moment, just remember, okay, this is how we can do that. So now that is D is there. Now it is a digit here. So now the output is not coming. So you are getting. So it is means wrong data type conversion is also leads to a problem. Okay, you should understand if you write a integer, then it should be D or I. If it is a float, you should write the %f. These are the small things you have to remember and start doing the coding. So the square of the given input number is square we are getting. So like this, we can able to appreciate. So like for example, that you can able to see the value 2025, 45 into 45. This simple program is able to tell you what is data type and what is variable. And this is nothing but a function, inbuilt function. So inbuilt function, which is already, it is explained to a compiler or a buffer console, clear the console. I don't want to see the previous message. And what it is telling that printf, it is representing how to print the message. That is enter the number, what message you want on the screen. Okay, this is done this. And this is nothing but what input to be stored for further calculation. So that is what we are doing. That is nothing but scanf. Similarly, when you go here, okay, here, what we are trying to do is number 1 star, number 2, and we are squaring this number. It means that, okay, same number we are repeating. This is nothing but computation, okay, or calculation we are doing. And then we are showing, so this is a comma, square is there, it is a, you have to tell where you want this. So the square of the given input number is %f, okay, and I can say value, something like that if you can make. Now if you do this, now you see the message. So 16, after that it is printing the value. So the square of the given input number 16 value. So that is nothing but it is telling that, okay, in between wherever you have %f, this value is evaluated and shown the message. And finally, when you go to the get ch, so just to, it is waiting for enter key. Otherwise, the screen you will not be able to see. The dark screen, whatever you have seen, console, you cannot able to see. That's why this I have used for get ch actually. That's a string. When you take the string session, you will be able to understand that at this moment you remember this is get ch. So this is how you can able to appreciate what is a square of number. My objective is to make sure that, so here, what are the keywords here? Keywords are, it may be a main, it may be a float. This is a predefined. Void is a keyword. Okay. These are all predefined. What are identifiers? Identifiers are the file name square.c, function variable name num1, square1. This is the user defined name. That is also a the identifier. So variable is also a one type of identifier. Then what are operators? Here star is there. That is the operator we have. So that is the operator. So likewise, you could able to appreciate all these things for better understanding. So that means we have, and what is token? So, and what is separator? This is a separator. This is a separator. This is a separator. This is a separator or a punctuator. And this is a separator because it is separated these things, these two statements. So like these two words, okay, or any token, we call it as a separators. And this is how, with this simple example, we can able to understand a lot of things actually. So let me do one more program so that any questions, anyone has it? Able to follow? Yeah. Okay. So now let me write one more simple program. Okay. Find the average. That's, so this is another program I wanted to do this. Okay. Now let me go here. Now, if I want to find the average of a number, now let us understand some more like a save, but I wanted to make you people to understand better and better. And if I write one more program, you'll be able to appreciate this. Let me read 4 values. So what is my objective? For reader, if someone opens this, they should be able to guided by this line. So a program to read the 4 float values, program to read 4 float values and find the average. This is the simple program I wanted to. Program to read 4 float values. That is, float means decimal values. And find the average. That means, example, if you look at that, if I want to do that, like what I can do is like for example, average is equal to, so maybe 10.5 plus 12.3 plus 4.5 plus 3, something like that, divided by 4.0. So if you do that 4 numbers, I should get the result. So this is the expectation. How do you translate this actually? So that is what we are going to understand here. One time I am going to give 10.5, another time I may give the 12.3, but I have to understand. Why I have written this? This is for the reader purpose actually. Reader purpose I have written. Let me declare hash include. So standard lines I am writing now. Studio.h hash include funio.h. Okay, void main. Okay, we are writing here void main. Now, so I can declare float. They are asking to declare 4 variables, 4 decimal points. I can write number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. 4 values. I wanted to print average value. I'm writing the average is equal to this one. Usually, normally we do it, okay, is equal to 0. I have not done earlier. I can do that initialization to the 0. So if anything garbage, unpredictable value is there, we are cleaning up. So I can do like this. If it is a float value, 0.0. Something like this. So you can do that without that. So it is an unpredictable value if it is stored and it will not show that it is clearing. Now printf, enter the 4 values. Okay, scanf. Now you should read %f. There should not be any space here. Okay, f and %f. So I am not giving any space here. Okay, then first value is ampersand to read to the computer, and ampersand number 1, ampersand number 2, ampersand number 3, ampersand number 4. So we have done this actually. Once this is done, okay, I wanted to compute average. So that is the AVG. Here name I have given is AVG. So how do you compute average? Okay, usually, if you look at this, any 4 numbers here, instead of 10.5, we are using a general name, variable name. We call it as number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 plus number 4. So let me write this average. Okay, and divided by 4.0 because it's a float value. Printf. Okay, the average is, so I wanted to show float related to float only. So I am printing AVG. Now I wanted to show get ch. So I am trying here and I am storing here control. So what I have done mistake here, printf statement semicolon is missing. So this is the semicolon missing. So error it is shown. So control F9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. It got 2.5 is the average. Let me clear the screen for better understanding. Control F9. 1, 2, 3, 45. So something 45 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 12.75 result is shown. Similarly, let me write like a 16, 4, 4. So it is showing 5 divided by 4. So 32 by 8, 32 plus 8, that is nothing but 40 divided by 4. It is giving the 10 as the average. So we are able to do simple understanding of this actually. Now let me explain once again so that because I believe that okay, most of the people who joined who are from the non-IT background, who never understand code, but after 2 months, definitely people able to say that okay, the coding is not at all a challenge. I know the foundation, but only thing is I have to learn the advanced. Many people does a big mistake is that okay, without understanding coding, learning a detailed Java, advanced Java, or without understanding C programming, C++, data structure, if you are able to directly jump to a like a advanced programming, so you may not be the efficient to the level of what is needed for the expertise to be in the IT field. That's the reason you have to be very patient and you have to learn foundation very strongly. And it is not at all a rocket science. It is a matter of 2 to 3 months for better understanding of this. So let me go here. If you look at this, okay, as usual, this is a comment. Okay, these are the comment. It is a for better understanding of what this program is doing. We have given. I may give a author name also. Okay, like Mallikarjuna GD. Something like that. I can do this. Okay, if I want to add company names, if it is a product, I can write here Snipe Tech Private Limited, something like this. Okay, so we can do a lot of things. What is the brand name? Learning platform. Okay, so I can do that UPL. But if I wanted to, instead of doing all these things, these comments, it is a single line comment. So I don't want to do this. So let me remove all these things. Okay. Multi-line comments. So let me remove these single line comments. Till this, I wanted to write a statement, then I have written. So this is called multi-line comment. So we have understood what is single line comment, multi-line comments. Both are given for reader perspective, but you have to write like this. We also understood IO yesterday IO.h is for printf and scanf. Conia.h is for clear screen. So that we have used. And this is the wide main is indicating the beginning of the program. Float is nothing but a data type num1.0.0 and num2 0.0, num3. This is what we have done. It is a float category. We have understood what is clear screen. Also, we have understood what are the four values. These are how to read the value, more than one value. You should not give a space here when you are in the scanner. Please remember. And num1 plus num2, num3. So this is the actual calculation or computation we have done. And this is how we have shown. Finally, we are able to execute. So 3, 4, 5, 8, something like that. I can able to understand this actually. So any questions here? So anyone has any question? Okay. So then let me include this. So save. save. So I have come back. So it means we have understood through simple program, like what is keyword, what are identifiers, what are data types, what are operators, what are separators, and what are variables. Anyone has questions? Anyone has questions, please? Able to follow? Yeah, okay. So this is the introduction to a simple programming. Tomorrow session, we will try to make you to explain, okay, further, where we will be discussing about various conditions, okay, how to use, and we will do the little bit complex programs compared to today. And then this is the beginning, and probably now onwards, slowly the complexity will improve, but it is not so. If you are able to understand, if you are able to read out, then definitely this is not a rocket science. It is very simple. Just you have to focus. That's it. It is required. It is the expectation is that's all. And okay. And thank you very much for joining. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening. Yeah. So any questions? No, right? Okay, any questions, please?
Sir, I have a question.
So any questions from anyone? Yeah. Okay then. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Tell me.
Sir, I have a question.
So
My question is that can we project in the end of this class, and also how much time it would take to finish this C language? And after C, can we start C++?
no, see, directly we cannot jump. Next 10, 12 days, if you learn C programming, after that we can start C++ programming. But at this moment, the foundation for other people who never understand C program and never understood coding, okay, for them, this is prerequisite is required actually. Yeah.
And also
So, yeah. Muhammad Atai, so any doubt, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is this question?
Sir,
Was it I answered?
Sir, actually, I didn't hear, sir. If anyone have some question, they can ask in the group also, sir, and they can text me.
Yeah. So here actually, I don't know what is the question has been asked. As per me, when can we start C++ or something like that, right? How many days it will be taken? Okay, for me,
Yes.
C++, C programming, at least we need a foundation very strong before getting into the C++. And C++, definitely it will take 20, 25 days. C also will take around 20 days. But now initially I'm going very slowly so that you people, anyone can able to understand. That is more important here actually. Yeah.
Yes, sir. If they have any questions, so they can ask in the group also, sir. You are also
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
in the group.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. See you tomorrow.